praying and asking God, like, I remember praying and telling God, like, this didn't feel familiar. Like, it just felt like, and I remember getting a reply of, you're stuck in a phase that you're used to, that you're familiar with, and I'm taking you outside that box. So I just stopped loving myself. I realized how much I really hated myself. I believed that I wasn't worthy. I started believing that nothing good would ever happen to me. I just started believing that I'm just stuck in this cycle. I'm just stuck in the generational curse. Like, it's not going to be broken. People don't talk about how much healing hurts. Okay? Healing hurts. And the reason that I say healing hurts is because you relive everything that has broken you. You relive everything that took you to a place of darkness.
My God, I'm falling for you. I just wanna give you the truth.
Hi you guys, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about healing. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Latoya Nicole. For those of you that are new to my channel, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. But we're going to jump right straight into the video. So on today's video, we're just going to be talking about, like I said in the beginning, we're going to be talking about healing. And also, like, when you're on your spiritual journey, just learning to trust God. For you, those of you that are not spiritual, then you can still tune into this video because we're going to be talking about healing. So I'm actually in the process of, healing. I remember last year, the day before my birthday, my birthday's on September 19th. And I remember on September 18th of last year, I said I was going to church. And when it was time to get up, I decided to lay back down. Then I got up again. I was like, let me get my clothes out. I lay back down. The third time that I laid down and got back up, I ain't lay back down. I decided to get the courage and just go to church. And for anyone that know me or, new to my channel, because I don't really talk about myself really. I just do a lot of vlogging, but I wouldn't say I don't like to try new things, but I don't like to embark on new things without someone with me, like on the journey with me, because I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel familiar. I want to have somebody just to rely on, So this particular day going to church was definitely a new church. Never been to it. It's like an hour away from me. And I just decided that it was time for me just to get out of my hometown. Like, I'm just so used to, going to a home church. And that's a lot of our problems now. We go to churches and we worship and fellowship with people that we're familiar with. People, that's what we grew up with. We grew up in a family church. Everybody from the family go there. Everybody in the family go there. Neighborhood go there. Everybody because you've been going there since you was young. But at the end of the day, you ain't getting what you need to get out of, going there. You basically stuck. So when I went to church September 18th, again, that was a new church for me. And it's like when I got there, I felt like I was at home. Like, I remember when the spirit got high and they started running around the church. I was running around the church with them. Anybody that know me, I'm not about to run around no church, and I don't know y'all either. I'm the type of person I like to observe things. But for some reason, I just felt so comfortable. It was just me and my daughter there. I felt so comfortable. And, I went in and started running around the church, started engaging in the service or whatever. And I felt so good when I got home. I remember praying and asking God, like, I remember praying and telling God, like, this didn't feel familiar. Like, it just felt like, and I remember getting a reply of, you're stuck in a phase that you're used to, that you're familiar with, and I'm taking you outside that box. So I'm taking you out of that comfortable zone. So that's when my healing journey started. Once I went to that church, I started going, like, I don't go every Sunday, but I try to make it, majority every Sunday. And I started journaling. And I'm not lying, I got my journal here. I started journaling. As you can see, I really do journal. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly when I started my first time starting to journal. But I can say that I believe I started journaling in December because I remember going on a fast because I was going through some things and I just felt like this new journey that God had me on, I just needed to, just put my feelings out, because I'm the type of person, yeah, I can pray, but it's like sometimes when you're in the midst of praying, or you know what you want to pray for, you forget. So sometimes you don't have the words to say. So I decided, like, one day I was on TikTok and I went across journaling, which journaling was on my mind for a minute, but I just was like, man, I don't got time to write. Like, I'm not writing. But I remember seeing this video, and that was my confirmation to start journaling. So I remember just wanting so much more around December of last year. And I remember going on a fast, because these are the scriptures that I read on my fast and the things that I wanted on my fast. And this was the very December 4th. And just so y'all know, I'm gonna let y'all read it though, but see, it's a pre-fasting letter. December 4th, 22. At 8:57 p.m. That was the very first time that I started writing in my book. And ever since then, like I write. And part of your healing journey can be things that you have experienced in your life. And I didn't really, when people say journal and you'll feel better, or journal things and they'll help you heal, but I'm the type of person, well, now I'm all for journaling, okay? Because I remember, like, I suffer with daddy issues because my dad wasn't there, and I did a video on how we were homeless, so you can go and check that video out. I actually did a video on my toxic relationship, so that's part of my healing journey as well. So, like, suffering with dad issues and stuff, and I even wrote a letter to my dad saying all the things that I felt, of how I feel that he should have been there for us, and how I really felt inside. And y'all, when I did that, when I wrote that letter, I really was crying. Like, I didn't know that I really felt that deeply, and I hated him that much. Like, I knew that I didn't like him, and I didn't care for him, but I hated him that much. And did that. But I don't have the time to date that I wrote that. But I remember writing that letter. But I realized how much I hated him. Like, I really did hate that man. Then I also, during my healing journey, I'm gonna get into healing. I got this book from Walmart. It just says Morning with God, and it's like a daily journal. It tells you, I'm gonna go to the page I ain't writing. So it basically tells you, like, things to be grateful for and stuff, and then it gives you, like, on this page at the end of the paragraph, it says, what joy is there in this? If you are a daughter of the sovereign God, you never have to wonder if he will be there for you. He is trustworthy. And you just write, what joy is there in following God? And at the end there's a scripture. It says, but let all these that put their trust in indeed rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them do that love. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. And that was Psalms 5:11. So it gives you a scripture, and then I have my dream book where I write down my dreams to understand the guidance that God has for me, or whatever destruction that's coming to me, or whatever good coming to me. And then this is just my scripture journal. So yeah, I have been taking this healing journey very, very seriously. With my journal, because I know a lot of people, they struggle with letting their feelings out. So when I journal, I write down how I feel for the day, or the things that I'm going through, or the things that I'm experiencing, and what's hurting me. And then when I go in my closet to pray, and I always write the date and the time that I start writing in my journal. I always go back, and when I go to pray, I read that in my prayer closet. And a lot of people think that you have to have a chair in your closet, or something to sit on, or these nice pictures. I go in my closet where my clothes at, and I sit on the floor, and I go in there and I pray. So yeah, when I journal and I write in my journal, I go in there. It's a closed space. I feel comfortable. I feel like I can just talk to God. I feel like myself. I feel like I'm alone. So I just let all my feelings out. I write down what I feel. I also, while I'm in my closet, I have a lamp that I got from Dollar Tree. This is it. I keep it around my closet, but this is a lamp that I got from Dollar Tree. It was $1.20, or it was $1 at the time before they went to $1.25. But it's a nice lamp for $1. So yeah, I goes in there, and I just write down, like, things that I would say to the 21-year-old me, same things that I would say to the 30-year-old me. things that I would say to the 16-year-old me, things like that, or to like an ex that really, really did hurt me, and I write a letter to them and just like get the hurt out. Like I can read that letter how many times that I want to. And I remember one time writing a letter. I'm writing a letter to myself and all the things that I went through when I was younger. To like the 16 and 18-year-old me. I remember writing a letter, and I read that letter about 10 times because I really couldn't believe that. I started to believe as I grow older. When I was in a toxic relationship, I just started believing the things that were said upon me, the things that were said about me. I really started believing the words that were said on me, and I just stopped loving myself. I realized how much I really hated myself. And that just realized at that moment, that's when I realized I was a broken woman. Sorry, y'all. I was really a broken woman. I allowed the words that people spoke upon me. I allowed the treatment that people gave me. I started to believe that I wasn't worthy. I started believing that nothing good would ever happen to me. I just started believing that I'm just stuck in this cycle. I'm just stuck in the generational curse. Like, it's not going to be broken. And at that moment, I realized this is the reason why God wanted me on this spiritual journey. This is the reason why I could not go back to bed on September 18th. That was the last push that I needed to be able to heal myself so that I can push myself to be it's time for all the greatness that God has for me. And I just want to say there's a lot of suicide death going on, especially in the young people. And I want to say, if your friend doesn't reach out to you in the time frame that y'all normally don't reach out to each other. I have some associates that I speak to like once a month. And if I don't hear from them in a month, I'm going to reach out to them. I have some friends that we talk once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. And if I don't hear from them, I'm going to check on them. I'm not the type of person to say, oh, so they don't want to talk to me. No, people go through things. Everybody is not open to discuss what they go through. A lot of people are silent, and I'm one of those silent people. I don't like to talk about the things that I go through. I just like to figure it out on my own. I like to work through it. I like to get through it, and I like to keep pushing. At the end of the day, I just put it in the back of my mind and keep pushing. I realize that's not good for me. And so in this healing stage, I'm able to get out all the hurt and all the things that have been spoken to me. I'm able to journal. I'm able to go back every day and read the things that I believe about myself, believing to myself that I'm not that person. Like I'm better than, where I was the day before. I'm better than what was spoken on me. God got better for me. And I just want to say we got to stop getting into that habit of, oh, well, she thinks she better than me because she done went out and got married. Yeah, we got to get out of the habit of, she married, so she done got married and she don't wanna act brand new. We gotta get out of that because you don't know what that person going through in that particular relationship at the time. So we always wanna check on our friends and not assume the worst or whatever the case may be. I will say also, when you're healing, you got to allow your healing hurts. Healing hurts. I know a lot of people tell you that healing doesn't hurt. Healing hurts. A lot of people tell you, oh, you just gotta heal. You gotta heal. At the end of the day, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you just gotta allow yourself to heal. Stop going back to the things that hurt you and break you. But people don't talk about how much healing hurts. Okay? Healing hurts. And the reason that I say healing hurts is because you relive everything that has broken you. You relive everything that took you to a place of darkness. And so in order for you to heal, you got to realize, you got to deal with the issue at hand. You got to just write down, what hurt you, what broke you, what made you get to this place of darkness. And then you got to realize what you got to do to, get yourself to a place where, you no longer live to, want to believe the things that have been spoken on you. That's why I say journaling is good, and always going back to read, the things that you've been through, so that the things that you no longer going to deal with. But healing hurts. Healing hurts. Learning to let things go and let things be in the past instead of leaving it in the back of your head, and you have to fight these demons every day. So yeah, healing hurts. Yeah, you got to relive the situation, but once you relive that situation, and once you get through that situation, and once you constantly understand what really hurts you and what you're not going to settle for, and you can learn to let those things go, then that's when you get to the good part of healing. But a lot of people just want to heal, and they don't want to go through the things that they've been through. They don't want to go through the trauma that caused that heart to be broken. They don't want to go through the things. They don't want to do that. So you have to go through that to heal. And so also when you're on your spiritual journey, you know, a lot of people be like, oh well, I'm on my spiritual journey, I can't hang around this person. But I would say, if you're on a spiritual journey and you got say like a friend that likes to party and drink, or a cousin that you be around like to party and drink, and you know that then that's something that you indulge in doing with that person. Y'all two used to go out together all the time. Y'all used to drink all the time. Y'all used to smoke all the time. You know what y'all used to do together. So if that's something that you're trying to be delivered from, and that's something that you're trying to move fast for that, so you move past from that so that you can have what God wants for you, so that you can get close to God, so that you can live in your purpose. Tell that person, hey, at this time, you know, I'm just trying to be on my spiritual journey. I want all the things in life that God has for me. And, you know, move accordingly. But I always say, like, even in my journal that I journal, the people that I'm leaving behind, I still pray for them. I still pray for them. You know, the things that I just want to let go, I still pray for them. Even if you hurt me, I'm still going to pray for you. You're in my journal book. Like, I just feel like when you're on that spiritual journey, you can't just have hatred in your heart. You got to learn to, people like to say you got to learn to forgive. But I'll just say, you know, continue to pray for them. Like, don't wish nothing bad on them, you know, nothing like that. Don't go around saying, oh, well, they smoking now, and God been blessing me, and I'm in the better. You don't do that. You don't do that. You know, at the end of the day as well, you got to realize, like, even if they still out in the world, you don't bash them every time you see them. Oh, you smoking, you drink, like, you know, you gotta do better. Like, if you already said it once, twice, you don't need to keep saying it. They get it, and 9 times out of 10, they listening to you, but they just not at a point where you reach. So just because you are ready to change your life doesn't mean that they are ready to change their life. They have to be ready. They will change their life when they are ready to change their life. Like, you can't keep pushing and willing into them to change their lives, because you're at that point. You can only continue to pray for them, and you can only continue to go on your spiritual journey. And when we're talking about spiritual journey, I'm going to give this example. Again, I don't want this video to be too long and bore y'all, but, you know, these are some deep conversations that we don't normally have. And I just want to say, like, when we're talking about going on a spiritual journey, I remember when me and my two sisters, we went to a job fair, and one of my sisters got the job, and me and my other sister didn't get the job. And I remember the lady saying she was going to call me in 2 weeks, but when we got to the car, my sister told me she got the job. The woman was, you know, lying. She wasn't going to tell me I ain't had the job. But she was like, she was going to call me in 2 weeks. And I was, like, sad and depressed, like, dang, how I ain't get the job. And so I remember one day, you know, Destiny wanting a better job for me and my son, young parent. You know, I wasn't single. I was in a relationship with his dad, but at the time he didn't have a job, and we were both struggling. Like, you know, we just went from being homeless. So I do have a video on us being homeless. I do have to do a part 2. I really was in a funk lately. That's why I haven't been uploading. But I don't want to get too off topic. But yeah, I was in a funk. Like, you know, just trying to heal, just going through the spiritual journey, trying to figure out what my purpose is in life. Just trying to continue to keep the faith and know that God has more for me. And just, you know, don't dwell, you know, in the presence of sin. So, you know, I was just trying to get myself together too. So I was just in the funk, but I'm back. But yeah, let me tell you about this story. So I remember, you know, like I said, I didn't get the job, but one of my sisters did. Me and my other sister didn't get the job. And so I remember, you know, just like thinking one day, it was like a month later, and I was just thinking, like, how can I get this job? Because back then, if you applied for the job and you didn't get it, you had to wait 6 months for your application to drop for you to reapply again. So when I was trying to reapply, it wouldn't let me because my email was already registered. So I was just like thinking of ways that I could just reapply. So something was just like, you know, just create a new email account. So I created a new email account, and sure enough, it allowed me to do the application. So I remember one day, I didn't have a phone at the time. They called my mama's phone, and my mama did the interview for me. But you know, normally when somebody call your phone, your first instinct is to say they're not available at this time. So that's why I say it's only God that she did the application for me. Did the interview for me. And then I had to go in for a job interview like that Monday, because I believe it was a weekend and I had to be there on the Monday. And then when I walked into my interview, it was the same exact woman who interviewed me at the job fair. And y'all, I ain't gonna say no lie, my heart dropped. I was just like, I know I ain't about to get this job. Like, this woman just interviewed me and offered me this job. She ain't about to hire me now. So during the interview, we interviewing, and I'm just asking these questions, and I'm just kind of like looking at the paper and trying to see what she writing down, and I'm just trying to, look at the questions ahead of time. And then she was like, "You nervous?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Don't need to be nervous." And then like once we were done, she was like, "Girl, go in there and take your I don't know why you nervous. Go in there and get ready to take your ID picture." She was like, "You passed." She was like, "You passed this interview with flying colors. You did great." But I'm like, I answered the question exactly how I answered it at the job fair, not knowing that, at that time that job wasn't meant for me. Or maybe she was a little overwhelmed doing the job fair and she had so many people to interview. She probably wasn't there. Probably was just hiring. Okay, well, they probably said hire every other people. We don't know the technique or what they told them, and I happen to be the other person. So yeah, I got the job at that particular time, and that's why I say what probably meant for somebody else is not meant for you at that time. So yeah, I ended up getting the job, but I didn't get the job the month before when I went to the job fair. I got the job a month later. And I did good on that job. I was a flow walker. I was an OJT coach, training new employees. So yeah, I did good on that job. Somebody else's purpose, maybe you may go on a job with one of your friends and they may end up getting a job and you didn't. But at the end of the day, their resume lined up with the job requirements that job had and your resume didn't. Or maybe it could have been, oh, it's not your time. Because if you had to put the work in, then my thing is we don't. That's the thing. When we on a spiritual journey, we don't want to put that work in. We don't want to pray. We don't want to read our Bible. We don't want to go on the path that God directs us. We want to go on our own path. And so if you put the work in and when you were on that job fair with your friend and you knew that when you do a resume, your resume needs to line up with the job requirements of that job that you're applying for. So, putting the work in, and that way you can see the fruit of your labor. So I just want to say, continue. If you're on your healing journey, continue to pray. Continue to just deal with any trauma that you experience. Just deal with anything that have broken you. Allow yourself to learn how to forgive. That's the main key. It's going to hurt to forgive because when you hurt, our first instinct is to retaliate. But we got to realize in the season that we are called in, we can't do that in life because we end up blocking our blessings by, trying to do what somebody else did to you. And what they dish out, they maybe can't take it. And what we give them a dose of their medicine, it might be too much for them to deal with. So they might drive themselves off a cliff. They may shoot themselves. They may harm themselves. So we just got to learn how to forgive what people done to us and move on. And a part of that healing journey, like I said, I encourage everyone, if you're trying to heal from any hurt or trauma, again, I can't stress enough, journal, put your feelings down. Put your feelings down. Read those messages or that what you wrote down in your journal. Read it out to yourself. So you can understand and you can comprehend it. Because we think it sometimes, but thinking it can drive us to act fool or we act off our emotions. And this we ain't trying to cause more trauma than we already have. So continue to heal. Continue to journal. Maybe in the time to come, the days to come, I may come out with a journal that I'm selling. Just to heal women. You never know what God have in store for us. So, if you're on your spiritual journey, continue to pray. It's going to get hard. Spiritual journey is not easy because there's things that we want. We sometimes in life, we take a detour. And that detour, notice when you take a detour, when you're driving and you take a detour, it may say you turn right and then turn left and then turn right and turn left and then you hit a railroad track and there's a train. So a detour is not always good. It's a shortcut, but sometimes it may not end the way we want it to end. So be careful on the detours that we take in life, and let's always go the route that we are instructed to go. Always think. If you're not a spiritual person, always think before you, decide to act on something at the time. Somebody asks you to do something, it's not right. Think on it first. Don't just go offhand on the first yes or no, because that can set you up for failure. You can get stuck in a position that you don't need to be stuck in. So let's just stop taking these detours and start taking the path that we need to take in life. Let's learn how to, just maneuver life as it comes. We're gonna beat all these hurdles that come our way. We're gonna jump over these hurdles. We are strong. We're not weak. We have the strength to overcome any obstacles that comes our way. And I hope this video bless someone else. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.